day after all. So, starting in 3, 2, 1, go! So, welcome everybody to Quirk 99 RMS. We've actually got some pretty good start here because we get like the second worst puzzle of the game. So Quirk 99 RMS, pretty straightforward game. We've got 99 little puzzles that we need to solve as quickly as we can. All of these puzzles are pretty straightforward, and in concept, that'd be a pretty basic idea. The problem is, it picks the puzzles at random, which you'd think, oh, that would make things a lot harder. The thing is, it really doesn't, because it turns out there's only about 30 or so different puzzles in the game altogether. So you'll notice at some point that these things are going to start looping around. We're going to get a lot of multiples. It does try to mix things up a little bit, and it's got a very clever way of doing that, specifically by inversing the puzzle, because, you know, that's totally a different puzzle, right? So, yeah, that's the basic premise of the game. Most of these puzzles are somewhere between like 4.5 and 9 seconds long. The longest being just under 9 seconds, the shortest being about 4.5 seconds. If you do not include like the 3-second transition between rooms. You can play the game on various views as well. I've got this specific view where you don't get like a 3D mode and whatnot, mostly because it transitions the rooms slightly faster, and personally I find it a little bit easier to work with, so it makes for a nice space. This is the longest puzzle in the game. We first have to push that one up, and then have to go all the way around, and then back around here. It takes about 9 seconds done optimally. It's a pretty long puzzle. Now, as for, you know, what the game is even about, this game does actually have a story as well. Specifically, we're a tomato. Yes, believe it or not, we're a tomato. Quirk the tomato. And our girlfriend, Tammy the tomato, she got stuck in this little maze here. And now we have to save her. There's two modes that we mostly use for speedrunning. That's going up, which is a ton of set puzzles. They get pretty difficult at times. And we've got heading out, which is the version I'm playing right now. I can only imagine that going up is, you know, getting to Tammy, your girlfriend, and heading out is, you know, trying to get out of the maze again. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind this game. Now, in terms of the speedrun, this actually got started because of a good friend of mine, Mr. Mean Mustache. I do hope he's watching today. Not sure if he actually is, but he was looking for some meme game and meme category that he could make a leaderboard of, and, you know, try to make it a proper speed game. So he posted that in the Discord, because we were in like the same team and all that, and we figured. I would figure, you know, that looks pretty cool, looks pretty easy to do. I mean, these puzzles aren't particularly difficult to do. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. There we go. So I figured, you know what, I'll try to pick this up as a speed game as well, see how well I can do. And, you know, from there, it just started rolling around, and we've been showing it in various marathons, and just showing what Quirk actually is. So yeah, I will say, if anybody's ever interested in running this, you can see how easy it is. The movement is a little bit tight, and I will say, because it has slightly less delay than what I'm used to, you know, I tend to make the turns a little bit too early, which is completely fine. It doesn't really lose too much time all in all. But yeah, if you ever want to pick this up, I mean, it's as you can see, it's a really easy game to learn. This is the first double puzzle we're going to see. I mean, we've already had this right at the start, and we're going to start seeing them duplicate over and over at this point. There are a little bit of a few cool mechanics that we can use, specifically in this floor. What I did there is I try to stay in the moving blocks as much as I can, because that actually boosts my movement forward. As long as I'm in one of those L-shaped blocks, it moves my movement forward by 2 tiles instead of 1. So I move a lot faster than what I would otherwise do, and it helps a little bit with saving, you know, small amounts of time here and there. It's nothing massive, because for the most of it, like, you'd have to be in them anyway. or it just wouldn't work out, but at times it can be quite useful. This is the shortest puzzle, by the way, 4.5 seconds to complete optimally. It's a pretty quick puzzle to go through. This is one of the most difficult puzzles in terms of speedrunning. It's probably the one that I practiced the most, just to be able to do that optimally. I think at some point because the movement there, the turn you have to make, it's really tight. So at some point I practiced for like just 20 minutes on just that puzzle, and you know, it starts to show at some point. Most of them I can do without needing to worry about it, but for some of them you kind of have to actually work in them, and you gotta get used to them a little bit. So far we've had fairly bad RNG. This run in and of itself doesn't really have a lot of RNG, mostly because, you know, you're gonna get 99 puzzles, so most of them you're gonna see 2-3 times anyway. But so far I've mostly been seeing the longer ones, which is a little bit unfortunate. One of the other categories of this game, basically the same thing as this, but then there's just 10 of these levels. That category actually is very RNG heavy, because if you get like these kind of puzzles where you get the longest ones, it basically just becomes a reset because of how much longer it would take. At that point, you're basically relying on getting 10 really short puzzles, which you don't really have to worry about for 99 RMS. The RMS standing for rooms, by the way. It's, you know, original Game Boy games, limited space, so they shortened that to just RMS. So it's another pretty cool puzzle here where you just boost ourselves forward. You could do that in other ways as well, but you wouldn't get that movement boost, so it would be a little bit slower if you don't, if you aren't in the corners of the blocks. So yeah, record-wise, it's currently at just under the 16-minute mark. I'm hoping to get under that 16 as well today. We've already had 2 resets, though, which can make that a little bit difficult. Current record has, I believe, 2 resets in it as well, so, you know, time-wise, it's still possible to go sub 16. For the longest time, we were basically at around like the 16:10 mark. And then recently I broke it down to a 15:57, which has stood since. So we're almost at the halfway point already. This is going pretty quickly. And generally around like I want to say the after the 50th puzzle, I have a general idea of how we're looking time-wise. My best run so far has I believe 8 minutes flat coming out of this puzzle. So we're gonna be a little bit slower than that, but not even by much. That's actually pretty good. Who knows? This is not all that bad so far. 50 minutes coming out, or 8 minutes coming out of that basically means we're on pace for exactly 16 minutes if the second half goes the same as the first half. That's the second longest puzzle we see the 3rd time already. This is it's pretty unlucky. This puzzle actually used to be the longest, but yesterday during practice we actually found a new strat that's about 2 seconds faster. So just on that we've already saved 6 seconds this run because we've already seen it 3 times. It was a pretty big find. Basically what we did there is we used we turned the block twice instead of once. So we don't have to go around the block an additional time. So this one's pretty straightforward. Just pushing them out of the way. This one can be a little bit tricky, because I gotta move those 3, move them out of the way, and then go around again. It's a pretty easy puzzle to do, but it's a very easy one to mess up. Fastest puzzle of the game, let's go. At least if I don't mess it up. Especially after those movement boosts, that's probably the hardest thing to adjust to, because your movement actually changes a lot in a very short amount of time. And as a result, it can be really tricky to adjust to the change in your velocity. Here I gotta kind of pay attention as to where the exit is, so that I just have to move that big block once instead of twice. It works out nicely. There we go. So yeah, so far so good. So let's see how the last few puzzles will go. I haven't actually seen this one a lot yet. This is it's a pretty easy puzzle. Just move the block up and then move it once. One thing you might have noticed is that the game actually displays a point system. This game has somewhat of a point system, and it's kind of based on time. Funny enough, though, it is actually not possible to get the high score on every single of the levels. On a lot of levels, it will drop down to at least 1,800 points, and on some, you'll have to go down as low as 1,600, even if you do it optimally. We don't really know why, because, you know, it would make sense that if you play optimally, you could get a max score, but in order to actually beat the high score, you'd have at least some RNG. Although, to be fair, the high score actually seems to reset every single time you reset the game, so it doesn't really matter anyway, I suppose. Okay, so just a little under a third of the puzzles left. 11 minutes to go. This is the puzzle I somehow managed to mess up the most. It's another movement boost you do there. This one might seem really easy, but it's actually had a round change recently as well. We actually used to move the upper block as well. Recently we figured, but hey, we don't actually need to do that, so we stopped doing that. It saves about, like, a second. So that's the longest puzzle of the game. I'm still looking for ways to do that one faster, but at this point it's not looking very good. This one's pretty funny. You actually always have to take, like, the first one to move it down, so you can move it the quickest. Otherwise, you'd have to take 2 extra steps. So you can take up to 4 additional steps if you take the wrong, or if you push down, up or down too early or too late. Okay, pretty cool puzzle. We haven't actually seen this one a lot yet either. Unfortunately, wow. Okay, that. Sometimes the controls can be a little bit finicky, and that can happen. Unfortunately, on that one, we haven't yet found a way to actually make use of the cross block to speed things up a little bit. Doesn't seem to be a way to do that faster. Now, from a time perspective, one thing I haven't actually mentioned yet is for heading out specifically, we actually use the in-game timer. So we're not, for this category, we don't use RTA. The difference between RTA and the in-game timer being about 10 seconds every single time. So the in-game timer is very accurate, so we figured we'd use that. For going up, because you actually only get your timer per level, we actually decided we would use RTA instead. Which also makes that going up is a little bit more of a competitive category. Where at this point, because there's no RNG, like the difference between the number 1 and 2 time is basically a few milliseconds. Whereas for heading out, at least for 10 RMS, it's down to a few seconds. I believe the number 1 place is like 127 for 10, and then the number 2 is like 135. So it's pretty beatable. The 127 will be hard to beat. That requires some pretty good RNG. But the 135 is still up for grabs. For 99 RMS, there's only a handful of, or there's only like me and Mr. Main Mustache that ran this. So that one doesn't have a lot of competitive times on it. So yeah, 4th time seeing this puzzle. That's actually, this is what I used to consider bad RNG. Mostly because that used to be the slowest puzzle for the longest of times. Nowadays, it's not that terrible anymore. Okay, that's a pretty quick one. So we've got 11 puzzles left to solve. This is, we'll see what happens. It'll be pretty tight. I'm gonna need some good RNG on these last 10 if I want to still get the sub 16. But it's not impossible. Now it might be. That was a little unfortunate. But we'll see what happens. These last 10 puzzles always tend to be a little bit nerve-wracking, but so far so good. Okay, let's see. There we go, 6 puzzles left. So time is as I finish the last puzzle. So that'll be coming up within a minute of this. Okay, almost there. Three puzzles. We're gonna probably miss the sub 16 by a hair. Which is a little bit unfortunate. I was hoping for that. If we get really fast puzzles, then maybe, but... The record is 15:57, by the way, so it's pretty close, but I think we'll miss it. Ah, it's a tie with world record. That's a tie. That's very close, but I think it would have been slightly faster if you take if you would have looked at it RTA, but all in all, still not a bad time. So yeah, that's Quirk 99 RMS. If you ever want to try this out yourself, please do. It's a fantastic game to run, and yeah, that'll be it for me for today. So I think next up is Wonder Boy in Monsterland. So that should be a lot of fun as well. So yeah, enjoy the marathon.
Here begins our story. When we're falling in our paths, of course, the time will slowly drift away. When it's over and we stand alone, the spirits softly whisper away. But now the stars are spoken and there's nothing left that we can do. Once in a lifetime, there's a chance that we change everything. Follow footsteps from the past and I can tell. Wonder if this world is sacred to me, to me. In the ruins, there's a glisten, a light that no one can see. Dust is in the air, and there's a mysterious gust of iridescent breeze. Never seen the sky so starry, I can see the world so clearly. Didn't think that I'd uncover another world that's undiscovered. Now you wandered into this place, realize it's my secret space. Path, of course, that time will slowly drift away. When it's over, we stand alone, the spirits softly whisper away. Now the
Hello, hello. Up next we have Wonder Boy in Monsterland by Berlin Dude 1. I've never seen the game, so I'm hopefully up for a treat. Is everything ready, or should we... Almost ready, almost ready. Okay, I can talk a little bit about the donations otherwise. Feel free to donate for the stream. That is for... the money goes to save the children, so if you want to save some children, feel free to throw some money to the screen and see what sticks. Please also remember to hashtag stream2 or something like that, so we know that the donation is for the second stream. Thank you.
Hey.
Hello!
Hello.
So I'm Berlin Dude 1 and this is Wonder Boy in Monsterland, and I have a commentator with me who even knows this game.
Hello, the name's Green Link. I have played this game time to time, including the arcade version and this version.
And he loves it so much that he's sitting right now here. And we have a wonderful crowd. I hope you enjoy the run. Are we ready? You want to start?
Oh yes, I'm ready.
I'm not ready.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I mean, who wouldn't love a guy in a pink suit?
Yeah! You will see the animation when he's starting and has not a sword. He's looking like a little bit like... Sure.
Alright. 3, 2...
Wait. Okay, now.
3, 2, 1, go!
And let's go.